Hey folks, how y'all doing? Yeah, I've been heavy on the camera this weekend, but in checking out Mr. Hall of Fame's latest thread, I thought, let me go ahead and answer. And also to be a copycat as well, I'll be like Andreas and I'll just talk rather than taking the time to try to pull things, because that's one of the things that keeps me from answering some of the threads is like, man, finding the stuff to show. So anyway, these threads are great though, and very entertaining and interesting. More interesting than entertaining, really. It's just interesting learning about people. It really is. So, name three artists or bands whose views you disagree with, but you still listen to them and enjoy them. Um, the only person that really comes to mind where this has really been, an actual issue that I can remember is Ted Nugent. Um, Ted Nugent was an early guitar hero for me, and I saw him early on. And I can distinctly remember, him seeing me in the audience and and not really being happy to see me in the audience. I mean, honestly, it was pretty obvious. Ooh, what's that nigger doing on there? You know what I'm saying? It was like God, just written all over his face as well as. Anyway, I don't own a single Ted Nugent record anymore. I used to own several, and I've seen him in concert at least four times, starting out with the Amboy Dukes before he even became a solo property. Um, I've just always known the truth about, being, a living being, I just happen to hold dearly to the truth of understanding that all life is one entity. It's like it's you know I it's like I don't know anything, and yet my entire being understands that everything that exists is one field of energy. And so the idea that I'm not going to listen to Ted Nugent because he's obviously a racist and he's in this and that, that's just that's for me, that's just short-sighted, and I see right through it. um I definitely not cool with homophobia from anyone. And when I was first getting into industrial music like Throbbing Gristle and stuff, some of the darkness there, Coil, some of the things that they would shove in your face, like scatology and necrophilia and people being into loving the dead. Well, wherever it was coming from, if it was adolescent fascination or what, it was a real challenge for me to understand where this music was coming from. But I'll tell you, I grew as an individual as the result of exposing myself to it. And so I would say that I listened to music where if I knew the views of the individuals making it, very likely there would be differences of opinion. But I am interested in your art, and that's my focus, is your art. Much as I love people, there's also a love-hate thing. There are many times where I'll be so tired from my job and helping people, because that's what I do, and it's a natural part of who I am. Even when I'm not working, it just comes out that I seem to be an empathetic presence that people are gravitate to. But I'll get to the point where it's like, man, I am sick of people. It's like, if y'all would just stay away and make the records and write the books and send them to me, I'd be fine. But y'all get the hell away from me. So I say that in relation to this whole idea of artists and bands whose views they may not agree with. One of my favorite artists of all time is Peter Gabriel. But as I got to understand him more and more as a real person, I could see where, well, again, take him off the pedestal. Yeah, no one needs to be on a pedestal in the first place. And also, it's like, I love this man's music, but there are obviously certain areas of life where we would have different points of view, necessarily. So that's the best way for me to answer that. Number two is a cool question. Can there ever be legendary albums again? Now, Mr. Hall of Fame, if I understand what you're asking, I'm thinking you're talking about how records in the past have had a cumulative effect worldwide or on masses of people, like Elvis, like the Beatles, like Michael Jackson, like Nirvana, things like that. and then even on a smaller scale where they'll just Bob Dylan, and where it'll just be records that define times, like the Rolling Stones, like the Who, more recently, how bands like Rage Against the Machine defined a moment. Even thinking of going over into metal, Metallica, you know what I'm saying? It's like they pretty much established speed metal and this whole new opening up of the genre that in many ways make them legends. I would say that because media doesn't have a stranglehold on the general public like it used to through television and radio and records. Now it's because of the internet and because of devices, phones and everything, and the way that we have access to exactly what we want when we want. The idea of something having a mass effect on large numbers of people, I think, is diminished. But can there be legendary albums? Yes, maybe not in that sense. I am intrigued, though. I do think that there are aspects of media where this whole idea of legendary can continue to happen. Um, I'm not a fan at all of Lady Gaga, but I think that there's something legendary about her rise in fame and notoriety. Um, and it seems like it's partially how she's adapted to the new media, YouTube, for example. Took me forever to finally hear a Lady Gaga song because, it's like I don't listen to the radio, don't watch television, but her presence is so ubiquitous that I couldn't avoid seeing her on the internet eventually. So, in that sense, I do think that it is possible for legendary pieces of art to exist again. Legendary albums, that'll be interesting to see. Who would it be and why? Tupac, his effect on hip hop, I think, was legendary. More recently, I think Jay-Z is a living legend with where he comes from. I still have the video. I forget the name of the band, but I've got it. The video where Jay-Z is a little kid as an extra in the video, and now it's just amazing. So yeah, legendary albums, it's possible, but how with this broken up media base? I don't know how it could happen and what it would be. Name 5 artists or groups that carry an image you love. The first thing that comes to mind, I go back to my adolescence because I'm 55, going on 56, and you change. At my age now, I'm not thinking nearly like I thought as a teenager. And so image is, it's irrelevant at this point to me. But when I really paid attention, Genesis with Peter Gabriel, the first time I heard them, and then when I saw them, his costumes, the way that he had his head shaved with the backwards, just the way that he had the bald spot, the mysterious aspect of the music with the entire staging, that changed my life and had an incredible effect on me. I thought Bauhaus had a very intense and intriguing image when they started off. The black and the angular look of the guitar player, as well as Peter Murphy. Is it? I forget his name. David J. Is it? I think that's the bass player. Can't think of the guitar, but they had quite a look to me. The Residents, not knowing who they are and how whenever the eyeballs, the iconic eyeballs, I love that. And when one was stolen backstage from a show, how the member who lost his eyeball didn't replace it. He wanted the original back, which I don't think they ever did, so he became Mr. Skull. That's an image I love. Just off the top of my head, another one that comes to mind right away is Alice Cooper. I remember seeing the Billion Dollar Babies tour and the guillotine and him blowing his nose on the American flag. I mean, that made such an impression on me at, well, I think maybe I was 16 or 17 at the time. So that's another image. And continuing along those lines, Misfits, Glenn Danzig. Man, talk about an image that you don't forget. I don't have any Misfits vinyl anymore. I used to have some. I've got songs in my collection. Um, but the Misfits come to mind right away as another really strong image that's like, damn, what the hell's going on here? You know? And loving it, the darkness of it and the Halloweeniness of it. I love it. Number 4 is kind of hard for me, to be honest. It says 5 of your favorite soundtrack songs. And the thing is, I have to be honest that I'm kind of one of those old fogies that when it became more apparent that music was gaining popularity through soundtracks, my old school sniffy upper nose sort of thing, was like, well, geez, people can't even take the time to listen to a record anymore and really discover the music. And so consequently, I'm not that aware of songs in soundtracks. Frankly, the only one that comes to mind really strong is She Spider by Mew. That's from this first Spider-Man movie. And it didn't dawn on me for a long time why, when I finally first heard Mew, not only how much I loved them, but when I finally heard the song She Spider, it's like, why does that sound so familiar? And then it came to me. So that's really honestly the only one that comes to mind. I mean, I love the song In Your Eyes. That was used in some movie, right? In a big way. I'm proud to say that Sun Ambulance, the album that I'm on, Quand tu marches seul, that song from someone else's Deja Vu, was used as the final song for the end credits of the movie Lovely Still, which came out a couple years ago, directed and written by my friend Nick Fackler. That song truly is a favorite of mine, but it's on a soundtrack too, so that one fits. Okay, I think that's really about. And I'm looking at the last part of the question, not just your favorite that maybe only 10 other people may know. Uh, sorry, but I don't mean anything on purpose by being more interested in what I'm interested in, but merely because of my general interest music-wise, it does end up being that a lot of what I'm listening to maybe only 10 other people know. But it's not conscious. It's just I'm just looking for what appeals to me. So that's the only way I can answer that question. And the last question is, what does the vinyl community currently mean to you? Well, it means a lot. It's just really, really, I'm so happy I discovered the aspect of this where people are showing. I mean, like I said, I'm kind of slow in some ways. I just really, I'm being very honest about that. In some ways, I feel like maybe I have some kind of autism or Asperger's or some kind of shit, because what I see and what I know is real clear, but there's a lot that takes forever for me to get. And I've been watching YouTube for several years now, and have been watching music-related, record-related videos for several years now. The first video where I homed in on the idea that people are showing their collections was a video by Collector of Music, which then led me to a video by Mr. Hall of Fame, and that led me to, I think, Dan from Canada and Spellerine. That's my history of this being here. It was Collector of Music's video, that wall of records and his real casual demeanor. Looked like, again, he just gotten off of work with his cap and the t-shirt, and I mean, I just completely related to what he was doing, which is, I'm at home and man, I love my records and I love music, and he was playing some stuff from the 80s, like something like either Echo and the Bunnymen or New Order, and it was like, well, damn, this cat is cool. Look at this, and I said, let me see what else is going on here. So it And then Andreas was talking about this, and what I don't watch television. I never watched a lot of television. He said I did. I think he misunderstood what I said. I stopped watching television in the 70s. It offended me so bad. I started watching television again when MTV started, and I geeked out on music videos. So what I'm getting at again here is that part of the way that I entertain myself when I'm not visiting with friends, when I'm not seeing my family, when I'm not working on the various projects I'm in, either musically or film or community work, I like to sit here and watch the different vinyl community videos, as well as other related music videos, people who collect interesting cassettes and unusual record players and one-of-a-kind things like that. This is better than television. And connecting with all of you people all over the world who have a similar great interest in music and the art form of music is just priceless to me. And I do consciously have an altruistic point of view about everything. I've always believed in the original message that I got through the media about the original counterculture beatnik hippie thing, which was everybody be cool and with each other and learn how to get along and peace and love, but not in a cliched way, but in a literal way. You know, when the Beatles made the record "All You Need Is Love" and they had that broadcast that a million people saw all over the world with Mick Jagger in the audience, and man, I felt that too. It was like, this is real. This information, it's not a cliche. It's the damn truth, you know, that trying to foment a sense of goodwill, tolerance, understanding, and love is a very good thing. And that music and art can be central ways of disseminating this message and continuing this vibration. And so I sincerely want to encourage the vinyl community to be consciously, you know, we're the shit, you know, we want, you know, we're leaders. It's like we're trying to show how to be instead of being uncaring, ignorant, small-minded, close-minded, unaccepting people. It's like, man, music, the beauty and the power of music has raised us up several notches. We can understand more. I'll riff on this for a second. Sujet33 asked me about it. How I had said that, you know, your taste is a reflection of your personality. What I'm getting at by that is that music for me has been such a teacher. For the longest time, I didn't go anywhere, hardly traveled anywhere, because we were so damn poor. We'd go to Chicago and maybe to Lincoln, you know, throughout my childhood. And so I learned about the world not only through school and history, but through the music. Discovering the music of Europe as a teenager and discovering the music of South America and discovering the music of Africa and India, you know, it was like a glimpse into people's lives. And I just looked at how long this damn video is. Man, I've been talking a long time. I need to shut the hell up. But that's what I'm saying. It's like music has the power, just like good art has the power to enlighten. And so I'd like to encourage the vinyl community to embrace its potential enlightened state. You know, that we're not a bunch of just dumb beer drinking idiots. I mean, beer drinking and being an idiot has its place in life, but that's just a part of it, you know. Okay, I'm going to stop there. You know, obviously I could be talking for a long time. God bless y'all.